Hi, welcome to the Crafts channel. I'm Corinne Brad and I'm here today to show you how to make a quick sweet card with just some little frame dies that I've got here and some rubber stamps. Now these are quite intricate, these frame dies. As you can see, there's little hearts that come outside of them. But what I've done is I've cut a frame already from a thicker weight card. I mean, these work well up to about 200 GSM. I've cut one from a little bit thicker, so what's happened is the outline is cut really well, but you do have to press the individual hearts out with a scalpel if you want to do that. I didn't want to because I want to leave this as a background, so I've left them in there and just glued it onto a piece of card. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer it with one that I've cut from pink thinner card, just so that you can get the two colours. And this is a much quicker way of putting the infills into your dies. Rather than cutting out a pink one and a purple one, it's upside down, putting in all the bits and then putting every heart individually back in the hole in a different colour, which is boring at the best of times and also frustrating if you sneeze and you lose half your bits. So you can get a nice two-coloured frame just from the one die. And also when you cut these dies, you'll find that it cuts the aperture out. So you've got a nice base that you can just pop inside. Fits in there perfectly like that. And then I'm going to add another smaller die, which I have pressed the hearts out of that. Again, this is the same thickness card as I used for the one underneath. And I find that the best way to get the glue onto the back of an intricate shape like this, without it all squeezing up through the holes in the top, is just to use like a dry glue stick. You will end up with glue on your finger, which you wipe on your trousers like most people do, but it means that you can get sufficient adhesive on the back of the shape without it all oozing through to the front and spoiling the look of the card at the front. To pop that in there. And then I've got some rubber stamps here. These are the nice cling rubber stamps. I've used this Love one, and I've stamped onto this pink card first of all, and then I've used this die to cut the aperture out. And what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to colour in. These are ordinary, they're not watercolour pencils, these are ordinary colouring pencils from a high street retailer. But they give a good depth of colour. If you're going to buy colour pencils, buy something that's, you don't have to buy the most expensive, but certainly don't buy the cheapest ones, because what you'll find is there's not enough pigment actually in the lead of the pencil. You can't get a decent depth of colour on it. These transfer the colour from the lead really well, and they weren't that expensive. I think they were about £6 for the set, so you know, that kind of price, they'll last you for ages. We'll just pop that in the middle with a foam pad, just to raise it up. There you go. And then I've got another rubber stamp here, which is a pair of Lovebirds, which are quite cute. And a trusty acrylic block. These are self-cling stamps, so if you've used them before, you simply just lay them onto the block. You don't need any glue. Some people do suggest that you put a foam backing behind it. It's one of those things now, it used to be with the old rubber stamps, because there wasn't a lot of give in the old rubber stamps, you used to put a bit of foam behind it so you could get a good even pressure. But I've found with these self-cling stamps, they're so good that you get a decent transferable image. And I'm just going to apply the ink to, that's another thing that people often do. A lot of people do it this way. I was always taught to put your ink on that way. You've got more control over the pressure of the ink pad, and it means that you've got less risk of putting ink on the surrounding bit that could transfer to your paper. I'll put the lid back on that before I put my elbow in it. And then I'm just going to line this up, and I'm just going to lay this over the top so the two Lovebirds sit perfectly over my oval. There you go. Nice neat image. And let's think, we'll colour her in pink. Again with these coloured pencils. It's not very pink actually, this one, it's quite purple, but she'll do. And we'll colour him in a bluey green. And while you're doing this, the ink is drying, and it's going to give you sufficient time that you can then trim down your image without fear of smudging the ink. That's the main problem I have. If I'm making cards in a hurry, I'll forget that I've only just stamped something and then just run my hand across it. But if you square up those tails so the birds look straight, or whatever element you're using on your cards, and just trim to the grid lines on your board. Just as an aside, lots of people have said to me, why the hell have you got that manky old rubber band around the handle of your scalpel? I use the scalpel so much that I was starting to get a pain in my finger where the pressure I put on it. Having that is a great gripping device, and also it cushions your finger, and it didn't cost anything, and it means I can cut all day long without any pain. So we'll just trim this up. And just check all of your sides are square. I mean, this is no particular size. I'm a great one for just making a card that's the size of the piece of card that I've got. So you've got your sweet little panel. And then if you just map that onto other cards, the same cardstock or similar cardstock to what I used in the background there, and all the colours pull together, you've got that nice tealy, greeny blue colour and the pink and the purple. So you've got a really cute card, a couple of flat back gems on the corners just to brighten it up, and there you go. Very simple, very quick, and if you'd like to find out the dies and the bird stamps that I'm using, then please see the description below. But I will see you next time. Bye. If you've been inspired to create, please share your makes with us in the comments section below. And if you've enjoyed videos by the Crafts channel, hit the like button. Want to see more of us? Then click subscribe. See you next time.